Welcome back to another exciting episode of Searching for Sheffields. I wanted to rip some of these packs, but first I kind of wanted just to, state my thoughts on some of my experiences since I have come back to the hobby in 2024, now 2025. So I think what I want to do is I want to take a look at the different ways you can buy cards, and we'll do that. So the first way I will say that you can buy cards, and I'll give my thoughts on each one, is retail, because there's a difference between retail and hobby. So retail packs, and this is your Barnes & Noble, your Target, your Walmarts, and they have packs, they have boxes, and typically their boxes are around $30. And the idea is it's a lower price box than a hobby box, and the content pretty much reflects that. So it's a lot easier to get a bigger hit in a hobby than a retail, but it's also a lower price point for retail. So, if you're just looking for base cards and things like that, then retail will probably be your best option. The hardest part about retail is finding cards in stock. Most times you go to your local Target or Walmart and you're limited on your selection by their availability. So that's retail. My experience with retail is it's good. I mean, it's a low price point. For $30, it scratches an itch to open a box, and you can get some good stuff out of there. I mean, there's people who say hangers or bangers, and I think that there's some good. It's a good option for a lot of people. Like I said, just to scratch that itch. If you feel like opening something, you're kind of at Target already or Walmart or whatever, and you see some, you get a pack or two, all good there. So the next level is hobby. So the first thing you need is a hobby, a local card store. So thankfully we have a good one around here, but there you're going to find the hobby version of that box going to be around $50, but you're supposed to be able to get some better options there in the hobby. So they also have hobby boxes, and these are the well, it used to be 36 packs, but whatever it is now, 24 packs of cards. And that can get pretty expensive. Hobby boxes are upwards of, say, 200 and up. It definitely goes up. So buying a hobby box is not, it shouldn't, at least for me, is not a on a whim decision. It's a very serious decision because it can be quite the expense. So, and with that, you can always go online. You can go on eBay and get both retail and hobby. Sometimes you can find some better deals online than in a Target or a hobby shop. Usually, I mean, the retail, like Target and stuff, you're not going to find it cheaper unless it's a prior year and there's no demand for it. But typically the prices just go up and up and up. So if a hobby box was released at $180, it was not a surprise if you try to buy one and it's like $300. So again, prices can get crazy out of control. But that's all for new product. The other way that I have discovered to get involved with new product is getting in on breaks. Now, I didn't understand this at first, so I'll give an explanation. Breakers, and my experience has been from the app Whatnot. You might have seen ads for Whatnot. Pretty much what happens is like a breaker, will have maybe they do a couple boxes, but just for this example, we're going to kind of dumb it down. So say there's one hobby box of 2024 Topps Chrome update. Now these boxes up to recently were selling for crazy money, say like $500. And you wanted a chance to get the Skeens, but you didn't want to spend $500 on a box. What you could do is get involved in a break. So imagine, and now different breakers do it different ways, but imagine spinning a wheel fortune wheel, and each piece of pie is a team. And what you do is you're bidding on a chance to spin that wheel. So a lot of times the bidding will only last like 20 seconds, and it could start like $1, and then you bid back and forth with the other people that are also on that channel at that time for that break. And so you might say you win at $30 is your win, and then you get to spin the wheel. And then whatever team you land on, let's say you land on the Cincinnati Reds, okay, which is a better team. What happens then is this happens for all the teams, and then once all the teams are filled, and you could have, one team, you could have 5 teams. It's just really how much you're bidding and winning. You could get in a break where there's not a lot of people online at that moment, and they're selling for cheap, so you might get a couple of them. But then after that's all done, this is typically like 20 minutes later, they will open that box online, and you're there live watching them open it. And any Reds players, because we won the Reds, you'll get all those players, all those cards sent to you. So it's a little bit of a gamble, because you could get a team that sucks, like the Rockies or something, and there's not really any good players, and say that's set from the Rockies, but like the Reds, you have like Elly De La Cruz. So if you pull, that's a chance to get in on a box that you would never buy normally because it's so expensive, but it's a chance for you to get in on that box and have a chance of getting a big hit. So like if he opens a pack and there's an rookie autograph of Elly De La Cruz, that's worth say $1,000. You get that card, and you only spent $30 to get that card. So it is a really good way to dabble in sets that you normally wouldn't go near. The downside of that is it can become very addictive, and you have to have a lot of self-control because it's very easy just you're on your phone, scrolling through your phone and bidding, and you get caught up in it, and then next thing you know, you spent more money than you wanted to on your couch on these breaks. So there's that downside. My experience, I've hit some good cards, and we'll kind of get into that in a later video. But I also have seen how it can get out of control to the point where I just took the app off my phone so I wouldn't be tempted because it's just like any other app. You're bored, you're opening up your phone, you're looking at it, except this one is like takes your money. So you have to be careful with that. I can see how people can get in trouble by doing that too much. However, it is a good way to dabble into the more expensive boxes for cheap, as long as you have control. So there's that, and then I think the last way that I'll talk about is, and this one is what I think I like the most, because of all these different ways, I think everybody's a little bit different on what they like. Is people that are selling cards secondhand, and I'm going to put this in two different categories. The first is there is so much of a demand on just chasing these high-end cards, like these one-of-ones, that people don't care about anything under that, where they just want to get rid of them. So you can get like a box of four, like this is an example. So this is a box that holds about 500 cards, give or take, of just 2024 update baseball. And I think I got this for $40 shipped. And it includes, there's Paul Skeens in here, all the rookies, there's parallels, there's inserts, there's all sorts of all the rookie bases, but people they just get overloaded with that stuff because they're chasing those one-of-ones and those high or low numbered cards that they just want to get rid of this stuff for cheap. So for me, for the in-between price of a box at Target and a box, and we're talking like a box of like 40 cards, I can get a box of 400 cards and still get those. I'm not going to get the one-of-ones, but still get a lot of good quality cards for people just unloading it. It's amazing how cheap people just get rid of cards for. And these are, newer cards, 2024, of course. So that, and then you go through it and you don't know what you're going to find. You're not going to find anything crazy, but again, you can get a really good base, some good base cards out of that. So there's that, and then there is the either getting rid of my collection, or like I found these cards in my mom's attic from when I was a kid, or I just got a storage locker and there's cards in there and I'm just getting rid of them. Now this is my favorite. The unsearched lot of cards for cheap is what is my favorite thing to get. And this goes back to the Facebook haul that validates it, where I got, like, if you remember, bins of just these random cards from all sorts of years. And I love going through, learning about the cards of different years and different sets, and finding some diamonds in the rough, essentially. So for that to work, I almost need to get unsearched collections, which can be tough too. You're not buying just a bunch of junk, but that is my favorite thing to do. And you can usually get them for very cheap, so you're not spending a lot of money. It keeps you busy on that kind of sorting through. I think people either like that or don't like that. I love that part. In the end, you come up with cards that you want to keep, and the rest you sell for cheap and get rid of. So those are all the different options. So I think moving forward, I dabbled in whatnot. I'm going to try to refrain from going back. The hobby experience, like the hobby store, I don't know. It's I think it has its place, but I'm probably going to try to stay away from that a little bit too, and but really focus in on the secondary market off of like Facebook, and like I got these from MLB card group on Facebook. So those are the two avenues I think I'm going to really focus my attention on moving forward, and that will kind of keep me in check. Won't get me into much trouble, but will still keep me busy. So those are my thoughts. I am curious on your experience, your thoughts, similar, not similar, agree, disagree. Just again, this is just coming from a guy who collected cards, and from the mid to late 80s to mid 90s, and then stopped and came back to the hobby. And this has kind of been my experience. So, but really curious to see what you all think. Some people throw out advice, which is probably the best advice, is instead of buying packs, instead of buying boxes, just go out and buy the individual cards of the players that you want. And that's probably the most economical and smartest thing to do. However, the problem with that is there's no thrill of the hunt. And I enjoy that part. So I love ripping packs. I love going through people's collections, but you just don't know. And that is a thrill for me, and part of what I really love about this hobby. So I think we're going to return back to junk wax because it's definitely much more affordable than the newer stuff, and you still have that thrill. But I think there is a place for the new stuff too. I just have to find a reasonable way to do it. So those are my thoughts. I'll do a separate video. Part of the bonus of Whatnot is sometimes they'll throw in some packs with your order. Like if you like won so many different teams, they'll throw in a pack of cards or whatever. So I got some random packs of cards in here that we'll open, but I'll do that in a separate video. Keep this one just about my thoughts on the hobby, and really curious to see what your experience has been. Do you agree, disagree? Comment below. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.